On Monday, March 4th, 1929, Herbert Hoover was inaugurated as the 31st President of the United States at the East Portico of the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. Today, we are going to take a rare look at footage and photos of events on that rainy day. In addition, we will look at footage and photos of the day he exited the office of the president to usher in Franklin D. Roosevelt's presidency during a dark time in American history. Today on Generations Found. Before we look at the rare footage, I wanted to talk about Hoover before he became president, only because I've done other pieces on Hoover and have had a lot of comments that just refer to his involvement in the Great Depression. But let's look at the man before he became president. Hoover was born in West Branch, Iowa as Herbert Clark Hoover on August 10, 1874. He was the first president of the United States who was of the Quaker faith. Richard Nixon to be the second president who was of the Quaker faith. When you think about that, you would expect that fact to be about our earlier presidents and not 20th century presidents. Hoover rarely attended formal Quaker meetings as an adult. His religious upbringing helped shape his personality, political philosophy, and historic humanitarian work. He was born into a devout Quaker family in the small village of West Branch, Iowa. His father was a blacksmith and his mother was a well-respected Quaker minister. By age 10, both of his parents had died. He was sent to Oregon to live with his mother's brother, who ensured he continued to be raised in a Quaker environment. Hoover's faith is thought to be demonstrated in his lifelong devotion to public service and charity. Long before he became president, he earned international fame by sharing his wealth and engineering skills to enormous relief operations. He organized food and aid for millions of starving European civilians trapped in the war zone of World War I. Hoover left for Stanford University in 1891. He dropped out of school at the age of 14 to work as a clerk. At the age of 17, he studied intensely and passed the brand new university entrance exam, making him quite literally one of the very first students at Stanford University in Palo Alto, California. The entire student body that first year consisted of only 555 students. As I tell you more about Hoover and his life before the presidency, let's watch some of the rarely seen video of his inauguration and the parade that day. While at Stanford, Hoover majored in geology and mining and gained technical skills that would later make him a wealthy international mining engineer. Stanford's geology department is also where he met Lou Henry, the university's first female geology major. They married in 1899 and later translated medieval mining texts together. Here are some other fun facts about Hoover you might not know. He spoke fluent Mandarin. He and his wife lived in China during the Boxer Rebellion. They learned Mandarin and used it as a secret code in the White House to talk privately when staff members were in the room. Another fun fact, he never accepted a a salary for public service. As mentioned before, Hoover was a multi-millionaire from his mining career. He was known to refuse government paychecks. In addition, he donated his entire presidential salary to various charities and distributed his income to his staffers. He had an estimated peak net worth of approximately $100 million when we adjust it for modern inflation. By 1914, his absolute net worth was roughly $4 million, which was an enormous sum at the time. The exact total dollars he gave to charities is unknown because he and his wife kept the vast majority of their personal giving strictly anonymous and distributed it secretly. Another fun fact, he served as the chairman of the board for the Boys Club of America for nearly 30 years, from 1936 until his death in 1964. The organization is now known as the Boys and Girls Club of America. By 1960, Hoover's persistent fundraising and expansion efforts significantly doubled the organization to over 600 clubs in 300 cities, serving more than 600,000 children. He was also nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize 5 times. His massive humanitarian efforts feeding millions of starving Europeans during and after World War I earned him multiple nominations, though he never won. The weather that day was miserable. Just before Hoover took the oath of office at 1 p.m., a heavy rainstorm began, which brought bitter cold winds and dropping the temperature to a chilly 48 degrees Fahrenheit. The 200,000 spectators and 2,000 parade marchers could not get relief from the storm. By the time Hoover finished his address, he and outgoing President Calvin Coolidge were entirely soaked. The event was a technological first. It was the first presidential inauguration ever recorded by sound newsreels, and airplanes and even giant blimps buzzed over the Capitol. An estimated 63 million people listened to the live broadcast on the radio. Since this was broadcast over the radio, a 13-year-old 8th grader in Walden, New York, caught Taft incorrectly reciting the phrase, preserve, protect, and defend. Instead, he said, preserve, maintain, and defend. She personally wrote Taft to inform him of his mistake. Taft admitted that he had made an error, attributing it to the defect of an old man's memory, but said that he had made a different error by saying the words as preserve, maintain, and protect. The young lady did not back down from her claim. News companies that had prepared newsreels examined the recordings and jointly confirmed she was correct. Here's an interesting fact you may not know. Charles Curtis was sworn in alongside Hoover, making history as the first Native American vice president. Curtis was born in the Kansas Territory in 1860. He was raised in part by his maternal grandmother on the Kaw Reservation. We are watching what I think is the Perkin, Illinois Chamber of Commerce /Committee. It is historically known as the Perkin, Illinois Rainmakers or local boosters. They are famous for marching with umbrellas and top hats to symbolize weather prediction and good luck for the new administration. They would spin, open, close, and hoist the umbrellas in unison during their march. If you know more about them, let me know in the comments. The parade included a massive military display, including marching Army and Navy units and military bands. Marching prominently in the procession was the Grand Army of the Republic, better known as GAR. If you are not familiar with GAR, they were an organization of Union Civil War veterans. Because the inauguration took place in 1929, a full 64 years after the Civil War ended, the number of surviving vets who could realistically participate was very small. The exact number that participated varies in historical accounts. It is thought that about 200 GAR veterans were there during the parade. A select group of local veterans served as a formal guard of honor. They physically escorted President-elect Hoover from the White House down Pennsylvania Avenue to the U.S. Capitol for the swearing-in ceremony. Most of these vets were well into their 80s or 90s. Due to their age and the weather, they rode in automobiles along the parade route and received a great welcome from the crowd. Also, because of their age, they were heavily supported in the parade by the sons of Union veterans of the Civil War. These are individuals who helped carry the banners and flags for the posts that no longer had living members available to attend. Now let's jump forward in time to Hoover leaving office and handing the presidency over to FDR. Their relationship began as a friendly, mutual cooperation, but ended in a bitter transition of power. What is called the lame duck period from November 1932 to March 1933 marked the rapid erosion of the relationship between President Hoover and President-elect Roosevelt. This period is when there was a rapid acceleration of the Great Depression and many other political stalemates and issues. Their final interaction on the day of FDR's inauguration, which we're watching right now, their mood was notoriously cold and tense during the traditional ride from the White House to the Capitol, and they completely severed communications for the rest of FDR's presidency. By the way, I came across this interesting accident during FDR's inauguration footage. I can't find any details on it, but that must have injured both the rider and the horse. Thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure to check out our deep dives into the archives, where we find interesting and forgotten stories about our presidents and our nation's history. Go out and make it a great day, my friends, and always remember to be kind in everything you do, including the comments you make.